What's up, guys? Cedar here, coming at you with a war recap for Axeyousomethin Vs Warbees. And what's up to everyone over at Warbees from OH and all the other guys I don't know. What's up to you as well? Good to see you all. Had fun warring with you. All that good noise. So, Axeyousomethin coming away with victory, 116 to 112, 95.95 total destruction on our end, 94.03% on their end. So we'll get into the attacks. We'll do six-pack shoutouts first. First off, we have Axeyousomethin. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, sorry. John, Master Hands, Biggest Trap, City Hunter, Blake, Maddie, Jagana, Ryut, FaZe, and Saldi. So, moving on, the first attack we'll be taking a look at, and good job to you guys, keep that up. We did have a decent amount of Town Hall 10 dips, though, I will mention. Good job to the Town Hall 9 base building over there at Warbees. We definitely struggled. So, with that being mentioned, let's get into this attack. FaZe is going to be coming in from 6 o'clock, and we've mentioned it a couple of times. Talking about symmetrical bases using an Archer Queen Walk or Charge, and what you can kind of anticipate is either, depending on either which way she goes, the layout is the same. Tesla locations are, I'm going to say 3 out of 4 times going to be in a symmetrical location as well. They could be off to the par, who knows, but in this instance, he brought her in at 6 o'clock. Looks like he wants to push her towards 3 o'clock. And does have a king and a couple of wizards for probably a nice little king wizard funnel cut up towards 3 o'clock. So CC is dealt with at this point. Queen now gets locked on to his queen. Going to be no problem taking that out. Healers are under rage, so not going to be a problem. She starts working towards the expo compartment. King Wizard goes down. Test Wall Breaker goes down. And the other remaining wall breakers that he drops go around the outside of where he dropped them for some reason. But anyway, gets a nice clean break with them regardless of that. And does get a nice clean break into the second layer. Does have an additional 2 wall breakers, so he did come in very heavy. 18 troop space invested into his wall breakers. He wanted to make sure he was going to get deep enough into that base to take out at least half of it. And I'm going to pause it. Oops, I put it in 4 times. I'm going to pause it for just a quick second. And if we zoom in on just this half of the base, we see this archer tower is just out of range of the air defense. This archer tower is within range. This archer tower is also within range. And over here, this cannon is obviously no biggie. So when looking at it halved like this, coming in with a Lalo portion is not that bad to deal with. Looking at it in the grand scheme of things might look a little different. But for me, as an attacker, if I can do something like that, cut the base in half in a sense, and look at it in 2 parts rather than as a whole, it kind of just makes some ideas click and say, oh, okay, there we go. This is what makes the most sense. And FaZe is keeping it nice and simple with the attack, not doing anything crazy, doing healthy investment into what he wants to accomplish with those wall breakers. Both hounds do pop that he brought. Plenty of balloons still up with that wizard tower down. He really is only fighting that air sweeper and that last archer tower. Both heroes up, still has the archer queen ability, and this is just going to be a wrap. So good job keeping it simple, FaZe. Well done. So yeah, good job, man. And we'll get through the rest of this cleanup. All right, and we're actually going to be taking a look at an attack that I did. And this was an Archer Queen Walk Dragloon. Reason I wanted to cover it is haven't seen much of this attack lately, and it is still very viable. You know, the main premise is, ideology-wise, what I think of is kind of opposite of TDH. TDH going in for the archer towers and wizard towers if possible, leaving the air defenses standing in a sense if you want to get a couple of them if you can. But leaving the air defenses to deal with the minions well with the balloons, and just those overwhelming numbers against their single firing does a very good job in taking it out. Just like old school Loonian farming back several years ago when it was just loons and minions, you know, those minions would tie up those air defenses, and things have changed obviously, but Archer Queen Walk Drag Loon is kind of the flip side of that. And the reason I decided to use it in this sense was obviously the air sweeper or air defenses were in a reachable location from one entry, and you see I did that coming in from 12 o'clock, bringing her down King Wizard funnel in at 9 o'clock. They did actually end up dealing with the CC, so that was nice. My queen didn't have to deal with the double witch, and all air defenses are down. So I knew if I was able to get this pathing done, and the base is basically cut in half like we were just talking about, dragons would be able to mow through the rest of this half of the base, especially with that queen being where she is. She's just going to be locked on and targeted. And we'll see the dragons work through here very nicely. Do get a little bit low on health, but we'll still have a couple of them up at the end of the raid. And one thing that I think I could have done differently in this to improve on this attack was, number one, I had initially planned on bringing my Hound Loon portion in from about this area, right around these defenses, probably on this Wizard Tower, because this Archer Tower is in range of it. And when that Tesla farm popped, I kind of just had a moment of, oh crap, I don't want my dragons to be wrapping over there. I want them to get on the queen. It was just a split-second decision. I changed up my plan, and it didn't end up costing me the 3-star, but it almost did, because it prolonged the length of the attack. My Archer Queen was already up there where I deployed the Lava Hound and the Loon portion, and she was going to take that out relatively quickly. Had I dropped my Hound and my Loon portion down where I originally planned it, I would have been done with the raid a lot quicker, and I wouldn't have had such a nail biter on my end when I was doing the attack. So I should keep that in mind next time I do it. Stick to the original plan, and yeah, so keep using that Archer Queen Walk drag attack. It still works. All right, and moving on to Town Hall 10, we have Tivster bringing in just a straight up go boho. Very nicely done, and you know, looking at where this entry is going to be, just tremendous value. Has access to both Inferno Towers, CC, Queen, King, both bomb towers, Expo, Archer Tower, 3 cannons, and if all goes to plan and he's able to get out, you know, at least this section through here, he has a very nice path for his hogs to come through either direction he wants to. And as long as he places his heal spells correctly, he'll be able to pull off a very nice 3-star. So does a very nice job using those natural anchor points for the mortars for his golems, giving him a nice spread, nice tank for his funnel. Gets all of his bowlers inside, did bring 6 of them in his camp. Drops his first hog portion, 2-finger drop, gets through the air defensive cannon that was there, I believe, drops the CC hogs finally, and in just a moment, that second Inferno Tower is going to be down. Queen is kind of catching up, getting into the core of the base. She'll be beating on a wall here before too long, and drops his second heal spell, has 1 left, a decent amount of defenses to get through, a lot of point defenses, and 2 Wizard Towers. So as long as he's able to calculate and anticipate where the highest threat areas are, he'll be able to get through the rest of it. And not a bad choice placing it there, getting closer to the Wizard Tower, and getting into that double space there next to that Expo was a pretty threatening area if a double giant bomb was there, something to that nature. So great attack, got all those defenses down, just has to deal with cleanup at this point. Did bring a couple of goblins, a couple of archers, Had an extra wizard in the bag as well, and not going to be too long with that many hogs wrapping around the base. Queen will be able to help out, get that storage down most likely, and that's going to be the 3. So good job, Tivster. Keep it up, bud. All right, moving up, we're going to City Hunter. Coming in with a very nice falcon, and a couple of things I really liked about this attack is, well, I guess it would be one thing kind of extrapolated, and that's the length of his queen walk. He is going to get down several different defenses, as you see, a couple of archer towers, a cannon was in there, I believe. Getting the queen down, not going to be able to get the queen down, but that's all right. He's not going to worry about that just yet. Wants her to just keep walking around the rest of the base, and actually the queen does end up locking on. Did forget that part, so pops the ability to get her down. CC is still in there, so hopefully he'll be able to deal with that and keep his queen up. Does have 2 poison spells for that though, so he should be just fine. King Wizard portion is dropped at, what is that, about 8:30 or so, taking out the Town Hall. A couple of Valks went over there as well, just to kind of cut the funnel. Hopefully none of them go wrapping over there. One does end up going over there, but that's a lot better than all of them. So CC finally gets drawn, and they're already through the core. And that, what I was thinking about, what I really liked about this attack is using that queen walk as long as he did. It had a reminiscent feel of TDH, to where you can run TDH, that queen walk / charge, darn near 2 minutes, and leave yourself a minute. I know I've cleared a base with less than a minute with TDH, you know, using the queen walk for 2+ minutes before I even dropped them. And it kind of reminded me of that, because when you have that many Valkyries and a good enough funnel to get your force in there, he would not have had such success if he had his Valkyries wrap, that type of thing. So knowing how fast that attack is to get through the core, when he dropped his Valks, I believe he had 1:10 or 1:12 seconds left. And that's very, very quick, especially with how much cleanup was there as well. But that initial funnel he used with his queen, taking that extra time that the Valkyries kind of make up for you, and taking out so much DPS and so many buildings so quickly, gives you that time to get a larger funnel, get more value, have her wrapped around the corner, and coming in very heavy with the Valks as well. Definitely, I think, paid off big time. So, and also the few balloons that he had in the bag as well, that was a nice touch, leaving the hogs at home, bringing in the balloons. So good call, great job, City Hunter. Moving on to Town Hall 11, we have John, and I guess this is just kind of a keep it simple type of video, because it works. He's using a Gobo Lalo, Town Hall 11, cold-blooded, and his main goal at this point is to get both of the air defenses down, both heroes down, all of those. He wants to get from here to here completely cleaned out. And he's been going to do a great job doing that. Creates a decently sized funnel for his kill squad portion to enter. Jump spell, rage spell, CC's being dealt with, both heroes down. Warden ability was popped to get him through that, and in no time at all he's going to have that section of the base taken out, and does have a decent amount of defenses left standing. So he does have his work cut out for him, and we'll see how well, or you're going to see how well John executes patience in this instance, and letting the attack develop, working through, and hanging on to a few more troop space just for at the end, right where you need them. And, you know, right now at this point, he has a lot of DPS in the core, Eagle Artillery, obviously. I think all 4 Teslas were there, both Inferno Towers. and decides to drop the heal spell and uses it on the investment to get that Eagle Artillery down. And now that that's down, hopefully he has enough hit points and a good enough pathing to get through the rest of the base. And one thing that I didn't mention down here at the Archer Queen and Warden is as soon as the single target Inferno locked onto his Queen, he popped that ability, didn't want that Inferno Tower getting any damage on his Queen, wanted those archers to get out in front, beat through that wall, have them take the damage, and continue on with the rest of the raid. And you'll see she's got about 85% of her health left, 90, something like that. So absolutely well executed. And like I was saying, with that patience, saving those 4 loons for that back end, bringing them in on that last Inferno Tower, getting that last push, and securing the 3. Good job to you, John. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if any of you were wondering why there was a delay on putting out any of the AYS coverage, it was just brought to light to me that coming out of the CWL season, people can be kind of burnt out and etc. So I kind of noticed that in the wars, just not all attacks being used, you know, etc. So figured I'd give it some downtime, get back into the swing of things, and I thought this was a good war to do that. So apologize on that delay, but we'll keep them coming from here, and hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, try new things, and Cedar Beat out.